church, this year is nearly done. We can get together, but we still can have some fun. Grace Church kids, whoever you are, it's time to open the next door on our Advent calendar.
Good morning, Grace Church kids. Day 15. Day 15. When you want to go somewhere, how do we get there? Well, today we use GPS, which shows us where we are and tells us how we want to get where we want to go. Tells us where to go, left or right, and to follow the road. Well, what they do before we had GPS? Well, like in these olden days, maybe when your parents were young, they had a map, and a map that you could open up and it would show you, you could find where you were on the map. Maybe we're here, and then you could decide where you wanted to go, find that on the map and work out the way to get there. But what if you were going somewhere where you didn't have a map, or someone hadn't been there before and drawn a map and you didn't know where to go? How could you find your way then? Well, one way maybe is if you knew they lived near, say there's a big mountain, you say, well, I know they live just to the left of that mountain. You could look and you could follow your way to that mountain, because that mountain's not going to move. The top of it's going to be in the same place. So wherever you were going, if you're going up and down and around rivers and all over the place, you could keep looking and say, there's the mountain, I'm going to head there, and you'd find it, and then you'd find the place next to it. Well, that's okay if you can see it, but what if the person lives even further away than where the mountain is and you can't see it? What can you do then? It's tricky. Well, one thing you can do is you could look up and look at the stars. At night time you could see where the stars were, and you could follow the stars to where they were going. So how would you do that though? There's so many stars in the sky. Have you ever looked up and just seen so many stars? Well, what you can see sometimes though is there's patterns of stars. It could be a W or a different pattern, like a saucepan or something like that. And you can say, well, there's a pattern of stars. I can pick those out and I can find that pattern. And these patterns are called constellations. And here you can see some here. This one is called the Plough or the Big Dipper. It's like an upside down saucepan. And it's also got one called the Little Dipper as well. And they are in the sky, so you can find those patterns. And look, if you look down here, there's a W as well called Cassiopeia. And these are patterns in the sky. So you can find some stars through the patterns. But stars actually don't stay still. They move around in the sky. Well, actually the stars don't move. The Earth that we're on is spinning round and round, and that means when we're looking up it looks like the stars are moving round. Now you can't see that when you're standing and looking, but each day the star's here, next day it's here, and next day it's here. So if the stars are moving round, how can you follow them to where you need to go? Well, there's one special star, and it's a star that doesn't move around, and it's called the North Star. And this star is right here, and it's right over the top of the North Pole. So if you found the North Star and you followed it, you would get to the North Pole. You could go and see Father Christmas and all his reindeer. You just follow the North Star and that's where it would be. But how would you pick out the North Star if there's all these other stars in the sky, millions and millions of stars? Well, we go back to our patterns. And can you see going round and round the plough, that saucepan that's going round and round? Can you see it? Well, if you look at that pattern of stars and you find that in the sky, wherever it might be it's down here, or maybe it's up here, it's hiding, you have to look for it. You can follow the end of the two saucepan and it points to the North Star. And then you've found the North Star. And then if you follow that, you can get to the North Pole. Well, when Jesus was born, God put a new star in the sky over Bethlehem. It was above it. So when the wise men saw this new star, when they were looking in the sky and all the patterns they could see, and they saw this star, they said, that wasn't there before. That wasn't in what we'd seen before. That meant there's a new king. That's amazing. A king's, such important kings come, that he's got a star. We're going to follow that star. We're going to go to where it is. And that star they followed, like you can follow the North Star, they followed it to Bethlehem. And that's where they found Jesus. I hope you had a good time. Perhaps you could go outside on a nice clear night and try and see if you can find the plough or the Big Dipper and see if you can find the North Star. See you soon.